Okay, folks, good evening and welcome to our podcast tonight with ex Southampton legend Claus Lundekvam. Be joined us from Norway. Claus, obviously, 375 games for Southampton, 2 goals. I think Dodgy scored more goals than Claus. And we have 40 caps for Norway. Captain is the national team. Great guy to get on. Folks, if you're on the Facebook page, like and share, please. If you're on Twitter, please retweet it. I want to see some thumbs up and hearts and get the questions coming in for Claus. But before we bring Claus on, folks, we got to talk about yesterday for the Rangers fans. We didn't just beat them, we smashed them 4-1 the other side of Glasgow. So a nice 4-1, 2 games to go, folks, and hopefully Rangers can get through the season without being defeated. Podcast coming up, folks, on the 16th, the day after Rangers given the league. We've got Davy Robertson, ex-9-0 legend. Dave will be on to talk about his new book he's bringing out, The Quiet Man Roars. And obviously anybody has seen the TV show The Real Kashmir will see why it's called The Quiet Man Roars. But folks, we're about to get Claus back on here now. As soon as I hit my magic button, folks, keep your questions coming in. And also we're streaming live to Saints World tonight, folks. So we want some questions from the Southampton fans, but we'll get Claus on. Good evening, Claus.
Good evening, Gary. How are you doing?
I'm good. Yourself, mate?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you.
Oh, yeah. Have you been working hard today?
Nope.
No? How's it? Well, go ahead.
The weather is fantastic, but I'm mostly sat in the car today, so I've been driving for about 5 hours.
Okay, obviously, well, if you're in Southampton tonight, Claus, it is horrendous. Rain and wind. It's horrendous down here in Southampton. Oh. So, obviously, Claus, we got you on. We had a few ex-Saints like Jason Dodd, Andy Niemi's been on, Matt Letizier's been on, James Beattie. Obviously, Claus, you started out in Norway, but Graham Souness brought you across. Graham Souness brought you to Southampton?
That's correct.
Obviously, but a lot of Rangers fans watching, people want to know about Graham Souness. What type of guy Graham Souness is to work under?
Well, I always be thankful for Graham bringing me over to the Premier League. So I got to be careful, but obviously I think he used to join in every session or most of the sessions, especially the 5-a-side sessions we had, and obviously we knew him as a player, and he was a tough one. So. At the time, we had Carlton Palmer, David Hurst, Robbie Slater, Dave Besant. We had some fiery guys in the squad, and with Souness in the 5-a-side, we sort of had punch-ups every week. So I thought to myself when I came over, because I made my debut 3 days after I arrived in England, and I thought, bloody hell, what the hell, welcome to the Premier League. I thought, how the hell I'm gonna survive this? So but Graham was a good guy. He looked after us. Obviously, I think tactically maybe not his strongest side, but he knew how to fire up the boys.
Yeah, good. Okay. Obviously, Claus, when you arrived in Southampton, did you obviously know what to expect in the Premier League?
No, I don't think you can prepare yourself for any wherever you come from to arrive in the Premier League is something special. And the atmosphere, I think the fastness of the game, the sort of tempo, the physique, and everything around it is something special, and that was something that I sort of I had to adapt to very quickly, because I remember my debut was, like I said, I came over on a Wednesday or Tuesday night, and I made my debut on a Saturday, so I only had 2 days training, and I had to. I remember during the first half against Nottingham Forest at the Dell, I was lucky enough to get 4 years at the Dell. Before we moved, I was about 10 minutes into the first half, I thought, bloody hell, I need to learn quick here, because I was just smashed, from the first minute. And I thought, me coming obviously from the domestic league in Norway, I was great talent over here, and I was good on the ball, and I was quick, but what hit me, I could never anticipate it, because it was so fast, and the physical side of it was really tough. But luckily, I was a quick learner, and 14 years later, I was still there.
Yeah, good. I mean, it's a remarkable service to spend 14 years at one club, Klaus. You know, that's a long time to be at one club. I don't think we'll ever see players like that again.
No, I don't think so. I think the loyalty and the sort of for one club to stay that long is very, very rare today. Which is, I think it's quite a shame. I think the connection to the fans, to the city, to the family of the club is it's important, but I don't see that much in today's football, unfortunately.
Yeah, because obviously the talking point obviously in football this last week, 2 weeks has been about this European Super League. You can see just the greed from the bigger clubs. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think?
It's I'm sort of in shock of what they actually proposed. It just shows that the richest guys in football, or the owners, they don't get enough, and for them it's sort of that they don't see behind it. They don't see the fans. They don't see the core of the club.
Yeah,
They just want more money, and that's what it's all about. It's power and money, and it's not like that. You should never forget your fans. You should never forget the loyal players. But because what will a club be without the loyal fans?
yeah, yeah. Um, Questions coming up already, Klaus. So we'll go for a couple of questions. So it's from Twitter. Of all ex-players, who does Klaus still stay in touch with?
Quite a few, actually. Like I said, I spent so many years at Southampton, and obviously I've been since I moved back to Norway in 2010. Obviously, I travelled back quite a lot. So I'm still in contact with quite a few. Matt Lattis, James Beattie, Franny Benali, Jason Dodd, obviously, Wayne Bridge, few of the Scandinavians, Ander and Michael Svensson, Anthony Amy, Brett Omerod at some stage. Quite a few.
Yeah. Obviously, we had Anthony Amy on last week, Klaus, and going back to at your time, so you had Anthony Amy at goals, yourself and Michael Svensson, the centre, and Dodsey and Wayne Bridge. Now, that was a good back four, a good hard-working back four.
That was a very good back four, and that was under Gordon Strachan, the 2 years he was with us at Southampton. So both his years we ended top 10. And we were in FA Cup final.
That's right, 2003.
So that sort of era was something special, and I remember we hated Gordon when he came in, because he ran us like four times a week, his sort of training regime, we were not used to it when he came in. But obviously, after a few months, we saw the benefits of being probably the fittest side in the league. And we took so many points late on in games, and we were really fit, and we were lucky at that time, because we had more or less the same 11 on the pitch every single game for 2 years. Which is quite quite unusual. But Gordon was fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, like, obviously, Anthony Niemi, special goalkeeper.
Oh, fantastic, unbelievable! One of the best I've ever seen on, especially reaction wise on the line. He was, it was superb.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Our question coming in from Marlene. Question: does Klaus still have his powerboat?
I do have a powerboat, but I don't have the sort of insane powerboats that I used to have. So I've calmed down a little bit, and I couldn't afford all the petrol I've used for. It was just crazy. Yeah, I had a few of the offshore powerboats for a few years, which was unbelievable. And we went to Florida and Miami and raced with them, which
Yeah,
was the biggest adrenaline kick you can imagine.
yeah,
So, but I love the sea. I love boating, and I've got a 20-footer day cruiser today, which I love spending time in the summer with my girls.
yeah. Lovely.
Yeah.
Okay. Question from Dave Saunders. Klaus, who was the best manager at Southampton you played under?
Oh, well, I think it's 10 to choose from. I think including caretaker managers, I was under 10 managers for the 12 and a half years I was active. So I think I learned something from every one of them,
Yeah,
in a good way, but obviously in in a different way as well, because the managers today and back in my time was very different how they handled their job. Some of them was very very sort of hands on the training ground, but you got some of them who you didn't see before the Thursday, and they came out on and picked 11 for the Saturday. So it was very different how they handle the sort of manager job. So, but obviously we already talked about him, but I think Gordon Strachan was one of them. He got the best out of the squad of players we had,
yeah,
and he was a very fair manager. He was harsh, he was tough, but if you did the work and gave it your all, he would have your back all day long. So he was a good one. We had Glenn Hoddle, we had like I said, Graham Souness, Harry Redknapp. So we had some good characters. But like I said, I think I learned something from all of them in a positive and maybe not such a positive way as well.
yeah. Question from your friend here, Robbie. You know Robbie? You know him,
Yep, I
Klaus? Yeah,
do.
yeah. He
Yep.
says, hi, Klaus, Rob here. Who was the most naturally gifted player you played with at Saints, mate? I think I know the answer to that.
Yeah, I think we all know the answer to that. I think worldwide, I think being international, I think I only got 40 games for Norway, but I was involved for two decades,
Yeah,
and seeing Matthew Letizia, obviously the one I'm talking about,
yeah,
up close, and for such a long time I was there.
yeah,
I don't think I've ever come close. Seeing, obviously there was good strikers. We played international strikers every week, but
yeah,
he was so naturally gifted in front of goal with both feet. That was, he had something special, Matt, and yeah he kept us up in the Premier League for a few years as well. So which was an excuse to not be last in the running every
yeah,
every
yeah.
pre-season.
I mean, Matt Letizia, we've had him on the podcast. Obviously one of the best players in the Premier League, but he should have been capped a hell of a lot more times for England.
Yeah, sure, you should. I think the downfall was obviously Paul Gascoigne at the time, and I don't think you could have two two players in that sort of category and give the freedom of both of them. So but I totally agree. He should have got more than the cap he did.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Question from Dave Coutinho. Hi, Claus. Who's your favourite defensive partner at Saints?
Well, I had a few. I started with Ken Moncau. He was a bit of a beast, and he yeah, great lad, Ken, and we had a good partnership. We another great partnership, and rest in peace, was Dean Richards.
Yeah,
He We formed a great partnership. But obviously, I'm a tall sort of yeah, quite a strong, good in the air centre half myself. But I was sort of taking the other role of being the one who was sweeping up and being the clever one.
yeah,
All my partners I sort of played the best football with was the ones I sat in front of me, and I think like Dean Richards, Michael Svensson, and Ken Monko was players that would go in the war for you, and me just sweeping up around them and reading the game. So. But I would say, yeah, Dean Richards and my good friend Michael Svensson was probably the best partnerships I had. Me and Michael was voted the centre half pairing of the year one season. I think
brilliant.
was under Gordon Strachan as well. So I would
Yeah,
have to say him.
yeah, yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Someone's going to ask you. Obviously, you played at the Dell and St Mary's.
Yeah.
Klaus, what's your preferred stadium?
Well, that's difficult to say because we grew out of the Dell and we had to move because of the obviously
Yeah,
the Dell only held about 15,000 people, and we couldn't survive in today's football having such a small crowd. So
yeah,
it was totally understandable that we had to move to the St Mary's, but it took some years before we really felt that was your home ground.
yeah,
And it always does when you move to a new stadium. But playing at the Dell was something I think, apart from the home team, everyone hated. Because all the teams coming down there, the big teams. Obviously, the first season was we were beating most of the big teams. We were right in their faces from first, second, and yeah, we didn't let them breathe at all. It was a small pitch. There was a hostile crowd, and yeah, I loved to play there. It was a great little stadium with a fantastic atmosphere. And talking about having your supporters at your back as a 12th man,
yeah,
that was the sort of yeah, the epitome of the Dell.
yeah, yeah. Obviously, one of the games at Dell, Klaus, you played in it's a game, the 6-3 game against Man United.
Yeah.
Is that the grey shirts? Was that the shirt game? No,
No, that was another one.
another one. You just keep beating them.
Yeah, I think that was another one because yeah, we beat them 3-1 in that game, I think. But the 6-3 game was yeah, but they came out with excuses all the time. But I think we beat them 3 years running actually.
Yeah,
Man United. But the 6-3 game was yeah, unbelievable, end to end game from the first minute. So yeah, for me, being obviously being the first season to be involved in that was something very special.
yeah. Was that one of your most memorable games then, Klaus?
Yeah, it will definitely be one of them. I think that one, and I think emotionally one. Obviously, my testimonial game against Celtic when Gordon came back with Celtic.
Yeah.
I know. Sorry. And there's a bit of a story behind that game, and obviously being the last ever competitive Premier League game at the Dell,
Yeah.
we were all fired up, and I personally had the top 10 bonus to finish top 10. I had quite a healthy bonus in my contract,
Right.
and at that time, me and Matt Letizia was hanging out quite a lot because he bought my townhouse down in Ocean Village, so
Right.
we were very close at the time. And I remember I spoke to him the day before the game, and I said to him, if you win this game for us, Matt, I will buy you a case of Malibu and a case of Coke, because that was the only thing he was drinking.
Malibu.
And obviously the game went on, and you couldn't have written a better sort of script, obviously, for the ending of that game, for the ending of the Dell. Matthew Letizia coming on, I think it was 10 minutes ago or something like that. He came on and put it in the top corner a few minutes before the end. So it was just a fairy tale ending. And obviously me Monday morning driving to his house with a huge case of Malibu and Coke. So but I got my top 10 bonus, so that was great.
That was the main thing, wasn't it? The bonus,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. So but
Brilliant.
that was obviously. Yeah, there was many special games. Obviously, be involved in an FA Cup final, even though we lost 1-0 to Arsenal, was something very special. It was played at Millennium Stadium in Cardiff,
Yeah.
but just the whole feeling of being in an FA Cup final with the tradition of it was something very special.
Yeah. Okay, question from Ian Trod. Hi, Claus. On the South Coast, as a man and a pro footballer, you're my legend. You are a legend. My question is, are you happy you played in the area you did, or do you wish you could play in the modern game today?
Well,
You've lost your sound there, Klaus. Seem to have lost you. We can't hear you, Klaus. Okay, folks. Obviously, Klaus's sound has went. We've lost him. Folks, get a few questions in from the Southampton fans. Let us know what you want to ask Klaus, and we'll get the questions out there. Hopefully, we can get this fixed. It's obviously a problem on his end. No, Klaus is gone. Hopefully, they'll come back on. Folks, obviously, podcasts coming up. Obviously, for the Rangers, obviously, Davy Robertson will be on the 16th. The day after Rangers given the league title, we'll have Davy on, obviously, talk about his new book, which should be good. And hopefully, a few more players coming on soon. I'm just hoping Klaus can reconnect here. Just bear with me, folks. Can you hear me now, Klaus? Yeah.
hello? Yeah.
Yeah. Got you good. You're back on.
Good. Sorry, I don't know what happened.
Right. Okay. So the question was, hi, Klaus. On the South Coast, as a man and a pro footballer, you're a legend. My question is, are you happy you played in the area you did, or do you wish you could play in the modern game today?
Well, thanks again to Ian for the compliments. I got no regrets of playing in the era I was. Obviously, the money today is probably a lot better, but we couldn't complain at the time when I was playing. Not at all. We were so privileged and so lucky. So, and what I sort of really gave me a lot to be a professional footballer at the time, when I was at Southampton, was giving something back. And I think being part of the community, the Saints Foundation, and because we all are looked up to and superstars in a way for so many fans, and giving something back. I remember really well the hospital visits we had every Christmas and sort of around those sort of holiday times, and I went around to schools every week, showed myself, and we had sort of classes of school kids at the training ground every training session, and for me, I think that's something today that is very rare, and I think, yeah, these pro footballers today, they probably do a lot of good stuff, but I think to be able as a fan to touch your heroes and be close to them, I think that's something that football is missing today, and that's why I'm really sort of humbled of Southampton has always been a sort of a family club, and everybody has been looking after each other, and for me, coming from Norway, I was nothing different. I was treated the same, and I obviously ended up being club captain for 6-7 years for the club, and that's something I'm incredibly proud of. But I think that being, yeah. Being able to give something back was something special for me, playing all the years I did for Southampton Football Club, and it is a family club, and it is a club that is very, very good in the community. So yeah, I would say, of course, yeah, the money part of it is probably a lot higher today, but like I said, we couldn't complain at all. We made a lot of money on what we love to do. So So I got no regrets.
Yeah, good. Fair play. Question from Dave Saunders. Who was your roommate on away games, and did he snore?
Hi. No, I don't think I had any snores. Well, Matt snored. If you, I was rooming with Matt for a bit. My normal teammate I roomed with was I had James Beattie. Me and James was together quite a while. I had Michael. I had quite a few actually. But no, I can't remember any big snorers. No.
No, no. Okay, right. Another one from Dave Saunders. All those loyalty years you had at Saints, what can you say about the fans of the club?
Amazing. That's why I explained in the previous question. The fans is everything. I think, yeah. What is the club without the fans? For me, and that's why it was so incredibly important for me to come back one last time to St Mary's and meet the fans in my testimonial game, because I was out with injury over a year. So for me to come back and say thank you to everyone who supported me for over 12 years was yeah, probably the most emotional night I've had. And yeah, so the fans, Southampton fans, is something special, and will always be in my heart for forever. So and to get the sort of English culture into under my skin and to be involved in that for such a long time as I was lucky enough to be, it was special. And the Southampton supporters are the best.
Yeah, fair play. Okay, another one from Dave Catino. By the way, Klaus, ruled the laps overhead against Spurs. You don't get the credit for a superb assist.
I agree, mate. I agree. I think I had about 2-3 assists, but they all, they were all they were all forgotten. So, but I remember that overhead kick by Rory. That was me heading it back into the 16-yard box. Yeah.
Yeah, fair. So, how many goals did you score for Southampton, Klaus?
2.
So you obviously remember them very well.
Very well. What was a bit of a coincidence, I've scored them both against Dave Jones as a manager, because he was my manager for a couple of seasons at Southampton.
Yeah.
But when he went to Wolverhampton, that was the year I scored my first goal. And it was against Paul Jones, who was in goal as well. So a bit of a coincidence. But and that was after I think it was after 6 years at the club.
First goal.
First goal. So, but I was, obviously I took so much stick for being absolutely useless in front of goal. But it's not really fair, because at the training ground I was quite lethal. No one will believe that, obviously, but for me, it was a mental switch who was just turned off every time I went up for a corner or a dead ball or whatever. I switched off. It wasn't my job in my head, but I was obviously giving it all and not, break my nose, or which I did a few times, and a couple of cheekbones went to defend my goal, which I did every week to my best of my ability. But every time I went up, there was a mental switch, and I lost the determination of sort of scoring. So I was probably the best decoy in the Premier League for quite a few years.
Yeah, good. Okay. Yeah. Question from Robbie again. Saints seem to be lacking a strong leader on the pitch in recent times. What's your views on it, Klaus?
I totally agree, and I think that has been one of the areas of watching Southampton. Obviously now is lack of leadership on the pitch. And that's so incredibly important during the game, not only leading up to the game, after the game. Then everyone can talk well, but I think being a leader is not only about screaming and shouting. It's about showing the way and leading the way.
Yeah.
But looking at Southampton today, I don't see too many leaders. I don't. So that's one of the areas that we have been lacking in the last few years. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Any views on the current manager, Klaus?
I think he's the right one. I do believe Ralph is in possession of what we want to achieve. I think he stands for a football and a work rate and a sort of intensity of the game that is for the future. I think he's a modern manager. He's highly rated, but I think obviously it's not many managers who will survive losing 9-0 twice
Yeah.
and going on such a bad run we've been on this season. But saying that, I still believe that he is the one because he possesses this. When we play well, we can beat anyone. But obviously, injuries has taken a toll. We've been talking about having leaders on the pitch. We're a small club, so. But looking back, we were leading the Premier League in November,
Yeah.
and look where we are today. So I just hope that Ralph can get some money and keep hold of us, keep hold of the best players, obviously, and develop the club over many years.
Yeah.
Because I do believe he possesses what we are striving for.
Yeah. Okay, folks, if you're watching on the Facebook page, please like and share. If you're on Twitter, retweet, folks, please. We get the page out there. I want to see some thumbs up. Question from Tara Duell. Who was the best Premier League striker you come up against, Klaus?
Hi, Tara. Nice to hear from you.
Yeah.
I know Tara.
All right, okay.
Yeah, she's one of the great Southampton fans. One of you sort of met world-class strikers every week. I think the one I've got this question so many times. The one I've always said this was the hardest one for me to play against was Thierry Henry, and he obviously. Thierry Henry on his day in the best years at Arsenal when they were winning the league for I think the years 2003, 4, 5. Arsenal were unbeaten in 2003 when we played them in the FA Cup final. Thierry Henry and Dennis Bergkamp up front with such a good team. Thierry Henry he was unplayable on his day.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah. And I'll ask you a question. Just when you say about a player like Thierry Henry, but let's talk about a striker, somebody who you didn't, you thought, oh, here we go again, physical battle. Who in the Premier League?
Well, here we go again. Duncan Ferguson, Alan Shearer. But I loved it. I love those battles because they were big, strong guys, and they gave me hell. Being a foreigner as well, they gave me hell. They were tough as you like. But when the game was finished, there were big hugs and cheers and I respected that so much. They were really, really good guys, but on the pitch, they were, really tough.
Yeah, okay. And another, obviously, we talk about, you said about the playing at the Dale. Teams hate coming and playing at the Dale. What ground did you hate going to? What Southampton they play at? That hostile atmosphere.
Well, I hated the big grounds. Old Trafford, I didn't like to play at because you lost the connection to the crowd.
Yeah.
The most sort of hostile. I remember Leeds United when they were up. Going to Ellen Road was always difficult, and they used all the tricks in the book as well. There was 45 degrees in the dressing room, and piss cold tea and piss cold water in the showers. So but that was a hostile place to go to. I remember before they got relegated. But I used to like and go and play at sort of Anfield, the old Highbury.
Yeah,
There were big grounds, but you had connection with the fans.
yeah,
But obviously the cup games Tuesday nights on the floodlights against a League One side was you really felt what was all about then.
yeah, yeah. Okay, a few questions. People asking about, did you like playing under Gordon Strachan? Folks, we've already talked about Gordon Strachan, and Klaus did like playing under Strachan. Question from Dave Catino: as a Norwegian, Klaus, do you believe Mo El-Nusi has what it takes to succeed with us?
As a Norwegian, Klaus, do you believe or Moi? Well, I'm not sure, to be honest, because he's. I don't think he's going to be consistent enough to keep a place in the team.
Yeah.
So, but he's a perfect pro. He does everything right, and he's a great pro. But I'm not sure if his ability will be good enough to play in the Premier League today. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay. Question from Dave Saunders: what is your honest predictions of football nowadays with all the rules changing, such as you can't go in hard like the old days? And what is your honest opinion of VAR?
I think VAR needs to disappear. That's for one. I think that needs to go. I think there's been so many situations which we all sort of found out the last year or so that the VAR needs to go. No doubt about it. So I think obviously some part of football will always be you can't control everything, and I think during a season and during you will earn where you actually finish, regardless. I think I believe in that, and obviously the VAR coming in with the goal line sort of decisions, or if the ball is over the line or not. I think that could stay. But all the silent flags and all the stupid sort of handball rules, which is not consistent at all from week to week, is rubbish. So I don't like it, because you don't get the you need to sort of we scored a goal, but you don't celebrate anymore. You need to wait, and that it's not good. It's not good, and we can all see that it's probably offside, but 15 seconds later, it's they can actually sue the referee team if they play on. Obviously, it's a clear offside and somebody get injured badly. So no, it's some of these rules needs to go.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. And question from Dave Catino: Klaus, where did the nickname Silky come from?
Silky skills.
Silky skills.
I've always been good on the ball. Like I said, when I grew up, I was always a striker, or believe it or not, I scored a lot of goals.
Right.
So, and I was really calm on the ball, taking, probably many would say unnecessary risk, but I was quite conscious of using my ability with the ball to obviously to step up the pitch and make obviously make benefit of my my technical skills and my speed. So that's where Silky came from.
Right, very good. Okay, question from Rob. It says, Klaus, are you still involved with football at any level?
Are you still involved? No, I'm not directly involved in football today. I still do some punditry. Obviously, I worked 5 years for TV2 in Norway with the Premier League rights as a Premier League expert. But that's quite a long time ago now. And I've been involved in clubs. I've been involved in setting up academies over here, and obviously I help out. But I don't have football as work anymore.
Yeah, okay. So obviously, Klaus, that's about your time playing, the highs and the good times at Southampton. Now, it's well known, obviously, after you left football, you went through a bit of a hard time.
Yeah.
From depression and alcohol. Is that simply because you just missed the game so much?
Well, I think the depression I went into after my career was because of losing what I loved the most. Obviously, losing the game, losing the adrenaline kick of running out to 30 to 70,000 people every week. You can't replace that. So that's one side of it. But obviously, what I missed the most was the dressing room, was my teammates, the banter, the sort of social part of it, and obviously lack of purpose during the day, because you've lost, or you feel you lost everything. I felt nobody needed me anymore. I felt sort of many times I've sort of explained it as going into a black hole that I couldn't.
And we've lost you, Klaus.
I should be back now.
Yeah, that's you now. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a phone call.
All right.
Yeah, so obviously, yeah, losing the sort of purpose in life, which was what I loved the most, was the dressing room, my teammates, and everything was gone overnight. And even though I thought I was well prepared for retirement, and I had plans, and sort of I made some bad decisions, and I think I told myself one hell of a stupid thing, that I said that I sort of now deserved, obviously, standing in my testimonial game at the end of the game, telling myself, now I'm gonna travel the world. I'm gonna take maybe 1-2 years out, just live the life and do exactly what I wanted to do. But what I found out was, obviously, my mates was working, and it wasn't achievable to do, because I found myself very lonely very quickly. And I think telling myself that I didn't need to do anything at the time was the worst mistake I could have made at the time, because if you don't have anything to wake up to, and no purpose and no sort of work to go to, it don't need to be every day, but it needs to be quite a few days of the week, so you have routine, you have sort of purpose to go to. It's such a important thing to have, which I sort of I found out very quickly. But obviously, like I said, I made some bad decisions. I started sort of being involved in a lot of charities, but there was always a drink, there was always partying,
Yeah.
and after I think less than a year from standing at my testimonial game to waking up every morning, sweating like hell, and just shivering, and had to drink a milk glass of pure vodka just to function.
Yeah.
It took less than a year. So I lost myself, and I lost nearly everything. And for me, it became the addiction with drugs and alcohol, and a lot of prescription medication became so extreme that it came down to life and death for me pretty quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think, Klaus, but for ex-pros like yourself finishing the game, there is enough being done by clubs?
No, I don't think it is. And maybe they can turn around and say it's not their sort of job to do so. But I think it is. I think it is for the FA, for the PFA, NISO, as we got in Norway,
Yeah.
to at least guide the players, give them education, give them sort of for me to come back and speak to academy players, for me to come back and speak to players who gonna go out in retirement. I've been there, I've done it. I've taken the wrong choices, and I can explain that. And obviously that's some huge parts of what I'm doing today. I'm obviously working in the field of mental health and addiction issues. So giving something back with that knowledge, which
Yeah.
I've been through, going through hell and back with addiction, and it's today something I can not be proud of, but I've got an experience and a knowledge that I can give to others to maybe prevent what happened to me to other players, because when the day is there and the boots are and you are finished, I think most players will find it difficult.
Yeah. Yeah, because obviously as an outset fans looking in, all they see is footballers with flash cars and loads of money. They think life's perfect, but obviously for a lot of players, when they finish, life isn't perfect.
No, for me, it's ironic, really, because I had everything. I had millions in the bank. I had 3 cars in my driveway. I had a wonderful house. I had speedboats. I had a sailing boat. I had everything. A wonderful family, 2 lovely daughters. But I was just incredibly. I cried every day. I went into a depression that I couldn't stop.
Yeah.
And for me, that obviously that was the loss of purpose, of being part of something, and being part of something social. Because being, like I said, I early became quite lonely. But going back to your question, obviously, I think the clubs can do a lot more, and I think with my honesty, and so I've written the book about my life in football and outside football, which I've been dead honest about everything in my life. I think giving something back to the football today, which I'm doing through the PFA in Norway and through some clubs in
Yeah.
Norway, is something I would love to help Southampton with, obviously. And I know Southampton has taken this serious because they are launching a health and well-being project
Okay.
as we speak. So and I would love to be a part of that because obviously been through what I've been through, I certainly can put some experienced words on how it is.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. And then obviously, so back in Norway at the minute, you're doing the same sort of thing then, just with people with addictions and stuff like this.
Yeah, I've been working there for about 6 years with mental health patients and addiction. Obviously, issues and getting people out of loneliness and sort of out of depression, if you like. So I'm working for a company called the Psychiatry Alliance, which what we do is during the week we got 20 activities, and we try to recruit obviously people who obviously lived their lives behind closed doors for many years in loneliness and
Yeah,
in depression, to get them out, meet sort of people they can relate to, and have sort of physical activity, which is good for the brain anyway. But obviously, coming together, have some purpose during the day is something we all need, and especially for people who is struggling with mental health and addiction issues.
yeah,
So to work with that and get all these sort of schooling and knowledge that I've picked up the last sort of 6 years in the field of psychiatry and mental health and addiction has been wonderful, really, because it means so much to me to give something back, to use my darker years,
yeah,
giving something
yeah,
positive back.
yeah. Fantastic, Klaus. Respecting it, brilliant. Obviously, I'm getting my long left now, so obviously, I don't know where he's watching tonight, but obviously, Dodsy's been sending me texts. You've got to tell us, Klaus, what type of captain was Dodsey?
He is. I love Dodsey. I love him to death because he just wants the best out of you, but he knows how to get it out of you. But what we had, when I came over and the first years at the Dell, we were willing to die for each other because we had a really strong dressing room. We were not only hanging out socially in training, but in our social life day to day, we were doing a lot of golfing together. Socializing a lot, so we got really close. And
Yeah,
Dodsey was my captain for many years, and obviously he knew what to do with me to get the best out of me, and that was to kick me up the arse and give me a proper bollocking, because I needed that, but I could take it from Dodsey. I would maybe wanted to give him a right hook back at the time, because it was really annoying, but he was right, because that was exactly what I needed. So the next challenge, I certainly didn't lose.
yeah, yeah. Well, you know what? He's been promised me a beer for 4 years now. He's never going to buy this. He's never going to buy this beer, is he?
Dodsey, no,
Okay.
of course
James
not.
Beattie says, James Beattie was on here and says Dodsy's as tight as cramp.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, Klaus, that was
Wonderful.
brilliant, mate. Thank you very much for coming on, Klaus.
No
Loved
problem
having
at
you on,
all.
mate. It was
No problem
brilliant.
at all.
If you just
Thank
stay
you.
there, Klaus, then I'll come back and speak to you when I finish it, okay?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, Klaus. Thank you, mate. Thank you. Okay, folks, there you have it. Claus Lundekvam. Great podcast, folks. And obviously, chatting about his highs and about his lows in football. I mean, takes something to come out and chat in public, but what Klaus has been through with addiction and mental health. Obviously, folks, if you're on the Facebook page, I'm please asking us all to like and share. I want to see the thumbs up going now, folks. Please like and share. If you're on Twitter, please retweet. And if you keep watching, folks, we'll be back with more podcasts very, very soon. So I hope you enjoyed, Klaus, folks. Good night.